Hi everybody, this is a new chapter called blood relations. What is a blood relation? Any relation which either by birth or by marriage is called a blood relation. By birth, it could be father, mother, son, daughter, etc. And by marriage, it could be father-in-law, mother-in-law, brother-in-law, etc. This is a very important topic and a easy topic as well, where every year one question is generally asked except for few years here and there. This is a simple family tree from the perspective of the grandfather and the grandmother, which is Meera and Raju. Their son and their daughter Rakesh and Sonia. Sonal is the granddaughter of Meera and Raju. So the above mentioned family structure is completely seen from Meera and Raju's point, and it changes from others' point of view. For example, Sonal, Ram are cousins to Sachin and Rati. Here is a list of different types of relations and the terms which you should be knowing. For example, people get confused between nephew and niece, if nephew is a male or a female. So just know that nephew is a male and niece is always female. This is the generation diagram where the great-grandfather and the great-grandmother are the first generation. The grandfather is the second generation. The father and the mother are the third generation. Then comes their kids and then their grandkids. If you see, for example, if this is you, this is your father and your mother, this is your grandfather and your grandmother, these are your siblings, these are your kids, and this is your niece and your nephew. This is a symbolic representation chart of how we could name male, female, married, siblings, next generation through symbols. This avoids confusion while solving problems. For example, if they ask A is the brother of B, then we could mention it something like this. A is the brother of B, where B is the female and A is the male. If they ask A is married to B, then it could be A with double arrow mark married to B with a circle. Next generation is marked through a down arrow where we have father to son, mother to daughter, grandfather to grandson. If there is a question which says A is the grandfather of B, who is the son of C, then A, we know that he is the grandfather, so marked with a square. B is the son of C, so B, we know that is a son, so marked with the square with a down arrow to denote the next generation. But here you should note that the gender of C is not mentioned, and hence you can keep this as a question mark. This is a simple family tree through symbolic representation. Each member of the family is easily identified and questions can be answered. Before we proceed to the problems, there are few points to be remembered. Without knowing the gender, relation should not be judged. Like how I showed you, C we did not know as to it is female or male, and hence we kept it as a question mark. So always make sure the gender is known before you judge the relation. The second thing, the family tree can be drawn only when the gender and the relationship is known. The generation and the relation name should be very, very clear while we are solving the question. Now we need to know few words and whom they mean. For example, who and. If there is a question which says A is the father of B, who is the sister of C? If who is asked, always remember it is the second person and not the first person. If and is asked, it is the first person which is being asked and not the second person. Blood relation is of three types: indicative blood relation, coded blood relation, puzzle blood relation. Indicative blood relation is when pointing towards a person, a boy, a girl, etc. When a man says anything about any of the person by pointing or by directing or by indicating, it's solved through indicative blood relation. The second type is called coded blood relation, is used for a coded inequality, where we get questions which can have a dollar sign or add sign or asterisk sign. They could even ask P plus Q means or P minus Q as a statement in the question. In this way, the condition has been given, and using this, we need to find out the relations. The third type is the puzzle type, which is confusing and tricky because here the profession is also being given along with the relations. Other than professions, characters and their characteristic could also be added. If you have to completely sum up, blood relation question can be asked in these three types, but the type of formatting of question and asking format is different. So, we need to understand in what way the question is being asked. Now let us solve from indicative blood relation. Seeing a picture of a girl, Miss Sonia said, "She is the daughter of the only son of my mother." How is Miss Sonia related to that girl? The options are sister, aunt, cousin and mother. Now we know that Sonia, by looking at a picture, she says she is the daughter of the only son of my mother. So we need to understand what is the relationship between them. Now in step 2, we can write the only son of my mother. So Sonia's mother has only son means Sonia's brother, which is mentioned through a straight line. The next generation is mentioned through a down arrow, and through the next down arrow through the son's daughter. So here in this relation you can see that Sonia and the person who is mentioned as my mother's son are siblings, and hence Sonia and the girl are having a relationship of aunt and niece. So the answer here is aunt. Now let us look at the next question in indicative blood relation. Reena told Kani, "The girl I met yesterday at the party was the youngest daughter of the brother-in-law of my friend's mother." How is the girl related to Reena's friend? Cousin, daughter, friend, aunt. In the first step, there are two girls in the scenario here, Reena and the girl. The gender of Kani is not known yet. As of now, let us take it as male. In the same statement, we also get to know that there is Reena's friend. So we mentioned Reena's friend here, and it says she is the youngest daughter of the brother-in-law of friend's mother. So in the second step, we get to know that Reena has told my friend's mother. That means Reena's friend is also in the picture here. So Reena's friend and mother, so we mention through a down arrow mark representing mother and Reena. And it says youngest daughter of the brother-in-law of my friend's mother. So brother-in-law is related to the mother, so mentioned with a straight line, and the daughter is the brother-in-law's daughter. So you can mention the brother-in-law's daughter using a down arrow, and so you can mention brother-in-law using a down arrow and show the girl here. By looking at this family tree, we get to know that the girl and Reena's friend are cousins, so mentioning through a straight line. Since Kani is not so important in this question's perspective, it is not so important for us to find if Kani is a male or a female, and hence not relevant for this question. And hence the answer to this question is cousins, because the question asks how is the girl related to Reena's friend. The girl relating to Reena's friend is as a cousin.